Everyone within the world struggles with issues. Even in the most wealthiest of countries, people are put in situations that you would think never would exist. One of these problems that many people face in the United States is finding a way to eat. According to
Report
the
by the
news,
Natural Resources Defense Council says that as much as 40% of all the food produced in the United States never gets eaten.
Americans throw away $165 billion worth of food every year. That's about 20 pounds per person every month.
Americans throw away enough food every year to fill 730 football stadiums.
in our social atmosphere, we watch as people go hungry. As we turn on our televisions, we realize that we are being bombarded by commercials. These commercials can impact our everyday lives and make it harder for us to choose what foods we feel are acceptable for our everyday lifestyle. As we begin to look at our meta maps, we can see that the United States is connected to the community. The community is what holds the United States together. This then leads us down a new path. This new path is a concept of three main issues. These three main issues are growing food on your own land, buying from your local supermarket, and finding out if you can afford it or not. As we start off this concept, I would like to go into the idea of growing food on your own land. People have the option to grow their own food in the United States and around the world. If they grow their own food, it is considered organic, as long as they do not use any pesticides or insecticides. It also helps to decrease carbon emissions and helps to keep our ecosystem alive. Along with this idea, people can spend less money, and they can also find that they can create bonds with other people in their homes, like their family members, their children, and even their pets. The idea of growing your own food can be simple or complex, yet it allows fresh food to be a part of your everyday lifestyle. When people grow their own foods, they put nutrients into their ground and allow other ecosystems to grow. They also leave food for animals to eat and insects to have a typical home. This ideal plan for every home in the country is what we should be striving for. Most Americans buy their food at the supermarket. My local supermarket has two main types of food. One is organic and the other is manufactured. The organic food is normally planted and grown in the outdoors. It is normally way healthier for human beings and animals and plants. Also, most organic food does not use pesticides and are normally set at higher prices. This connects directly into growing your own food because the food has a better outcome for your lifestyle and well-being. As for the manufactured food, that idea of well-being isn't the case. The manufactured food is normally mass-produced and man-made. It is normally not healthier for human beings. Also, most manufactured food do use pesticides and are normally set at lower prices. This is where people can't afford food. The idea of not being able to afford food can play a huge role in what you choose to buy, whether it be organic or manufactured. Some people cannot afford food in the United States. Also in the United States, some people are living in poverty. I won't go into what might be going on in an individual's life. However, I will say that these individuals are struggling. These are a few scenarios that could happen when people cannot afford food. The first scenario is if people can't afford food, they might starve. If they are starving, they could die or become ill. The second scenario is if people can't afford food, they might steal food. If they steal food, three outcomes could occur. One could be they steal and never get caught, causing a reoccurring cycle of them stealing and never getting caught. The second is they get caught and they pay a fine, and then they continue to steal. The third option is they get caught, they go to jail, they pay a fine, they get released, and then the cycle repeats itself by them going back into the community and starting the process all over again. The third scenario is if people can't afford food, they look for government programs such as WIC and food stamps. This is where buying at a local supermarket gets interesting, and growing your own food can come into play as well. All of what I have just talked about all goes into a human's quality of life. The higher priced food is normally organic, and over time it can cause people to have a healthier lifestyle because they are not eating processed food and manufactured food. This then can cause these people not to have to go to the doctor, which in return makes the doctor not have to prescribe them pharmaceuticals, which then they can save their money and it can either go back to the United States or it can go back to the community in which they are a part of. As for the lower priced food, which is the manufactured food, we see a lot of issues because at a lower price, over time, you can see that people are becoming ill. When they become ill, they need to go to the doctor and seek medical attention. Well, a doctor's purpose is to prescribe pharmaceuticals to their patients. The patient, in return, has to pay the pharmaceutical company for the medicine. The pharmaceutical company then makes a profit off of the patient, and the pharmaceutical company ends up using their money to help still promote their business, and it normally goes back into the United States through their economic gain. This is where change, the more nutrients we get from those foods. It is a tough argument to make when we watch every day as people go hungry in our community, yet we can feed them. The way that I also would like to propose to help this war on food is getting involved with our local supermarkets and seeing if there's any way to go and focus on organic foods at lower prices.
Cause I ain't really done yet. Cause I ain't see the sun yet. Tryna see what's next.